Your job is the press. You should report the news, not lie about it. You don't get to ask any more questions. I'm done with you because you're the cause. You're
One
the
more
cause
thing. You
of
call
our
the
country.
Democrats a
No.
party
You're
of
the cause of
pedophiles.
our
Do you have any
country being
response to
divided.
that?
You're the cause of our country being divided. You're the cause of President Trump almost being assassinated. You're the cause of everything wrong
But where's
in
your
America.
evidence for those claims?
No, you're done. You're done. Yeah, go back.
Thank
Go
you.
back.
What do you think of his choice of J.D. Vance as vice president?
Very excited. I was the first member of Congress to endorse J.D. Vance when he was running for Senate. And I vetted him pretty closely, of course, because I'm one of those strong President Trump supporters.
This is a man who compared him to Hitler, though. Isn't that concerning?
Let me finish. I vetted him on his statements, his articles he'd written. And of course, you know, JD's an American. He can change his mind. And what changed his mind is he watched President Trump in his first presidency. And it was the policies and the decisions President Trump made in his first 4 years that changed his mind. And, you know, I really respect that. And I think Americans have the right to change their mind, especially based on someone's actions, not their words. And so when people are judging J.D. Vance, I think they can also look to see that we can watch his actions. And as a senator, I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of the legislation that he's voted on. I'm proud of the work that he's done on the committees he serves on. And I'm really excited President Trump picked him.
So Vance, he said that the UK could be the first Islamist country with nuclear weapons under the new Labour government. Doesn't that paint a sour picture for relations with the UK?
Well, let's talk about the words of the Democrats and Joe Biden that have also labeled President Trump as a fascist, labeled all of us as Nazis and Hitler, completely lied, demonizing him so much so that a young man, a 20-year-old, which is hard to imagine, actually climbed onto a roof and tried to murder President Trump.
You said that the Democrats wanted the shooting of Trump to happen.
Let's talk about people like you.
Where's your evidence
let's talk
of
about
that?
people like you
But where's your
that
evidence of those
demonize
claims?
people like me, President Trump. You know, I have some of the most highest amount of death threats because of people like you, because you choose to only take certain words from people, and then that's what you want to report. Shame on you. Shame on you.
But where's your evidence?
No. You're the problem. And where's this woman from?
The Times.
You're
London.
from the Times? Okay, you're ridiculous. And you're the problem in our country. You lie about people like me. This is the first time you've ever talked to me. I want you to know, I'm a regular person like you. I'm also a mom. I have 3 kids. And we have to put up with the most unreal amount of bullshit because of little liars like you that take your job and turn it into political activism. Your job is the press. You should report the news, not lie about it. You don't get to ask any more questions. I'm done with you. Because you're the cause. You're
One
the
more
cause
thing. You
of
call
our
the
country.
Democrats a
No.
party
You're
of
the cause of
pedophiles.
our
Do you have any
country being
response to
divided.
that?
You're the cause of our country being divided. You're the cause of President Trump almost being assassinated. You're the cause of everything wrong
where's
in
your
America.
evidence for those claims?
No. You're done. You're done. Yeah, go back.
Thank
Go back.
you.
Is J.D. Vance going to be the candidate?
So then, well, told you that was going to be quite something. It was Jo Crawford, our reporter, talking there to the representative, the Republican pro-Trump representative in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia. Jo is sitting here with me now, looking, Jo, remarkably composed after all of that. I can testify personally, because I know you. It's not your fault that America's divided. Let me say that first. You had no hand in the awful events at the weekend. Marjorie Taylor Greene was in that respect quite wrong about you. I hope that gives you some comfort after that encounter. You have to learn, and you're learning now. You got to deal with all sorts of people in this line of work.
Oh, definitely.
And maybe you feel. How do you feel after that?
Well, I think it was interesting because I tried to ask her about what Vance said about the UK being potentially the first Islamic country to have nuclear weapons under the Labour government. And I said, is that not concerning for relations with the UK? And rather than answering my question, she went on to speak about what the Democrats have said. And we've heard her mention that potentially the Democrats are what caused this attempted assassination of Trump. I asked her for evidence. She couldn't back it up. It got quite fiery. And yeah, the conversation didn't go much further than that.
Well, what we heard was, I'll use the word interesting, and job well done, Jo Crawford. Alistair Dorber, Times correspondent, is here with me. I mean, in some ways, that was kind of instructive, wasn't it? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene is a particular personality, and a very big personality, who is known, not just known, but famed by the fire of her encounters. So that was a very good example of that. She's also maybe in some ways, an embodiment, Alistair, of the sense of grievance, which is part of what we're seeing here at this convention.
Well, if we were expecting, as Donald Trump's been over the last few days, to offer a sort of a calmer brand of Republican politics, I'm not sure it's the message has got through to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You missed the meeting.
I witnessed Jo's interview with the Congresswoman, and Jo was extremely polite throughout. Absolutely the right to ask the question she asked. I do think it was a little bit performative. I think it was quite nice for Marjorie Taylor Greene to have the opportunity to appear on camera and shout down and blame someone for all the wrongs that are happening. I've spoken to Marjorie Taylor Greene countless times at events over the last sort of 3 years.
You don't seem the worse for wear.
I'm intact, I think. She's just extremely polite. I mean, I have the advantage of not having a camera in front of her and that sort of thing. She's often very polite, often takes the time to speak to us, but yeah, you got the rough end of Marjorie Taylor Greene just there.
And that sort of theme, they're all out to get us. They're all part of the problem. We are the solution, everyone else is the problem. That is part of the message as well as the sort of creed.
It is, but I don't think that really works, because it's fine when you're in opposition, but the Republican Party needs to reach voters who might not ordinarily want to vote for Donald Trump. That's not a message of embracing people, of sort of drawing the nation together, of putting to bed tensions. I think rather inflaming them a little bit.
In fairness, not every Republican does their politics like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No, she's a known firebrand, a self-styled firebrand, but very, very close to Donald Trump. I mean, at most events, she speaks on Trump's behalf.
All right, Alistair, it'll be great to talk to you. Jo Crawford, take a break, and if I had a medal, I would give you one.
I think he's outstanding pick.
Tell me why that is.
Well, I mean, JD's lived the American dream story. I also come from a personal vantage point on this.
Yeah.
I've known him for over a decade.
Well, you were hoping to be the VP pick, right?
He and I were law school classmates, actually.
Okay.
And our families know each other outside of the politics context.
What's he going to bring to the table to add to the partnership?
Yeah, I think his personal story is a powerful one, of having come from humble beginnings to live the American dream.
Hillbilly Elegy, his book.
Yeah, but I think so. But I think his policy vision is about translating that so more Americans can live that same dream. I also think that he is somebody who it's a rare person in American politics who's actually in it for the right reasons. And I know that's sad to say, but the reality is most people are in it for themselves, and he's a guy who's in it for the right reasons.
He was in the past, the so-called never-Trumper, a great
I think
opponent of Donald Trump.
Well, I think that's actually going to make for a very compelling messenger. To tell people who didn't vote for Trump in 2016, maybe he didn't vote for Trump in 2016 either, but it makes for a compelling messenger to say, here's the case for doing it today.
It doesn't suggest opportunism to anyone, you don't think?
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of media will have to say what they have to say. I know the man personally. He's a good-hearted man, and I think he is doing what he does from a place of conviction. And I know that in a way that you couldn't possibly. I mean, we're good friends for the last decade. We used to watch football games together, but he's somebody who's doing what he does because he loves this country. And, do he and I agree on everything? No, not 100%. But actually, one of the things I like about him is that we actually spend a lot of our time pushing each other on where we disagree. And he's made me think about things differently, and I'd like to think.
Last question. Yeah. How could a leader like Donald Trump, who's so associated with divisive politics, how could he be the man to unite America? Because that seems to be the message at the moment.
Yeah, so I think he can be the guy who does it not just through words, but through action.
Well, words are needed, surely.
Well, I think that he is delivering that. Are we going this way? Oh, where is it? Right here? I'm just trying to figure out where to go.
Saying, Mr. Ramaswamy.
Yes. I think it'll be not just through words, but through action. And you're going to hear the words later this week, but I think it's most importantly through the action.